We want to start out by thanking Rotary Insurance for a very generous gift that they made to make this production possible. We also would like to mention the usual stuff, which is we'll have a 10-minute intermission. So you can go down to the lobby. There will be some goodies there for you. The restrooms are clearly marked. Please turn off any cell phones or mobile devices or anything else you have that might beep or go off during the production. And just a couple other things. I want to invite you to the last show in our season. It's called Treasures in Heaven. If you're not already a subscriber to Morning Star, this is a play we did 10 years ago. It's based on a story by Somerset Maugham. And we took that story and set it in Milwaukee in 1959. Our version deals with a guy named Bud Jaworski, who's a barber, and he wins the lottery, the Irish sweep. His daughter has the money spent 3 ways because she's planning a huge wedding. Then Bud opens his Bible and reads where Jesus says that you shouldn't store up for yourself treasures on earth, you should store them in heaven. So Bud decides he's going to give all the money away. Well, it doesn't sit real well with his family. And so thus the comedy that ensues. So please come and join us for that. It's a really wonderful play. We did it once before, and I think you'd really enjoy it. The other thing I want to let you know is we're continuing our interactive plays. We did, most of you know, we did a play called Bible Smugglers back in the fall. It was very successful. We had over 1,100 school kids come out to do it, and over 600 people in youth groups and family groups. So based on that success, we're going to do another interactive play called On the Underground Railroad. And this time focus on the faith of the abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth. So that'll be coming out this July, so please watch for that. Come and do it. Send your kids, your grandkids, and please support us and talk us up in that, because it's a real wonderful new avenue of ministry for us. So, thank you again for coming, and enjoy First Church of Texaco.
And come on.
And
left their phone out on the counter.
I did. I thought I'll just wait for introduction. Oh, no.
so now enjoy First Church.
It all started without me knowing it, really. And the next thing I know, I'm standing next to a rice queen and gratefully accepting my Emmy. My Emmy with purple hair, that is. And depending on your vote here today, washed out from the toilet business. GSI pays an obscene amount to fly its chief executive officer, me, transatlantic and supersonic. So there I was at 50,000 feet and twice the speed of sound. Literally at the top of the world. And I was sitting next to a lord, a prince, and Burt Reynolds. And I was reading an article about myself, Stanton Presley, in an international magazine. And as I read, I recalled the hard work it took in getting there, in getting to 50,000 feet and twice the speed of sound. And I thought, if there's one place we're all trying to get to, I was there. And every revolution of the Concorde's mighty turbo engine seemed to roar it. You are here. You are here. You are here. And so I dozed off at the top of the world at twice the speed of sound. Only to wake up moments later listening to this other voice, this unsolicited cost analysis of my current situation saying, "Where are you?" Oblivious to the fact that I was literally at the top of the world.
Mr. Presley, sir!
And twice the speed of sound.
Where are you?
I'm right here, I said, and I appreciated it wouldn't sneak up on me like that, Brad.
I wasn't sneaking, sir.
You crept up without warning.
I was yelling, sir. Next time I'll not sneak. It's a lot better in here without the lights on.
It's not been occupied in a long time, Brad. Do we have water?
It's brown. The water. It's brown.
We'll drink the bottle. What's wrong, Brad?
Just, it's getting a little expensive living in squalor.
Screwdriver. From the toolbox, Brad?
Oh, right, yeah, from the toolbox. You know, it's just with all the talk in the journal.
There's always talk in the journal, Brad.
Yes, but, I mean, you should. Shouldn't we be in the city, sir? I mean, the stockholders meeting tomorrow night and the Kurtzman offer recommended for a vote?
The wrench, Brad.
Shouldn't you at least consider the offer, sir? I mean, these are the Gaga years after all. And Sir Wendell Kurtzman is known as the best court magician in the industry.
The wrench, Brad.
Carpe diem, sir. Like,
Stanton Presley started cutting nails at $1 an hour, Brad, and now Stanton Presley is the...
youngest CEO in GSI history. Yes, sir.
The secretary?
Yes, sir, the secretary.
She's not in the toolbox, Brad. The secretary. Why isn't the secretary here?
Well, Blessing is over 30 miles away.
Blessing is over 30 miles. Yes, so?
So if she were to be here by now, I would have had to have hired her 15 minutes before I hired her.
Yes, well, I didn't know that you just hired the secretary 15 minutes ago, Brad.
I got off the phone with the secretary, and then I informed
In a
him.
memo. Did you tell me in a memo, Brad?
No, sir.
Ah.
Just thought that since it's just you and I.
There is no you and I, Brad. It's just
You. Sir.
in a memo, Brad. Office policy. Unless, of course, you'd like to restructure office policy.
Why would I consider restructuring office policy? I would never even consider such a thing.
She's the librarian.
Who, sir? Oh, yes, sir. 2 days a week.
Not much demand for learning and blessing, huh?
Ignorance surrounds you, myself included.
And she was okay with the sleeping arrangements?
Huh. Yeah, says, she carries a Saturday night special in her purse, so you'd best stay on a car in the garage.
The garage? She said that, the garage.
Yeah. She does owe back taxes on the family property, as you suspected.
How much?
Well, $7,500.
Foreclosure?
Imminent.
And the name? What's the name on the registry?
Whitehurst, sir, but the librarian's name is
Man.
yeah, the only Alice that age in Blessing, sir. If I could inquire, sir, why is the chief executive officer of the 16th largest corporation in the United States, who demands a stranglehold commitment from his staff in order to squeeze, and I'm quoting, the lifeblood out of Father Time, pack up shop and move a multi-billion-dollar international corporation to bring it to a Texaco, a last chance Mexico, in the middle of a dust bowl? And why, sir, are you so interested in the name of this librarian? I mean, up until now, you referred to your secretarial staff as the people in the hall. Until I was commissioned to do your laundry, I referred to exclusively, hey, you.
Well, Brad, you've made a number of very good points. And the only thing I can tell you is put
It in
a
a
memo.
Yes, sir. The Kurtzman memo, sir. You didn't read it, did you?
Your job description, Brad, specifically states that you are to read all my memos and then brief me on the details.
Oh,
The Kurtzman memo states in exhaustive detail that we, when I say we, I mean you, stand to make a fortune.
I've already made a fortune, Brad.
Yes, well, it also describes a hostile environment.
A hostile environment, Brad.
Yes, Yes, sir, things could get out of hand.
Are you threatening me, son?
Sir, no. You must know that Sir Wendell Kurtzman is known in the industry as the Pac-Man.
Pac-Man can't gobble up my company without a chip shot from a golf buddy, Brad. He needs inside information, and that's an SEC violation, son. No one bids blind.
Yeah, well, you know, if you were to consider your island in the South Seas, your crowning jewel, if you would put that into the offer, you know, part of the golden parachutes, then...
Is there something I should know?
Well, that I know? Come on, get out of here. What would I know? No, don't get out of here. Stay, sir.
Under a car.
Oh, must be the librarian.
The librarian? Really? So soon?
Right on time, actually.
All right. Well, then. How do I look?
Like the youngest CEO in GSI.
No, really, Brad, I'm asking honestly. How do I look?
I don't think you do have a little bit of grace, though.
Grace. Oh.
Yee-hee! Hello?
Okay. I have a plan. I'll deal with the stain, and you deal with the...
Librarian.
Yes.
Hello? Is anyone home?
Good plan, sir. Very decisive.
Yes, I think it's the best. Just do it.
Is anyone home?
No one is home.
Oh, Mr. Presley. Hi, I'm Alice.
Man, yes, I know. The librarian.
Hey, that's right. You have a really great memory.
And it's Brad Prescott, not Mr. Presley.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who else could you possibly be, really? So we have a lot to cover, and Mr. Presley is very busy washing his shirt. So, let's snap to it, shall we? This is your desk. International headquarters for Global Standard Incorporated, a multi-billion-dollar blue-chip
So
corporation.
you must be Mr. Presley. Hi, I'm Alice.
No, you don't see Mr. Presley.
Yes, I do. He's right there.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. And right now he is pretending to read an encyclopedia. Upside down. See?
Of course, you can choose to see Mr. Presley if you decide to see Mr. Presley, but standard office procedure requires you to...
Ignore him?
Yeah, ignore him. How in the world could you ignore a man like Mr. Presley? Mr. Presley is a man who can affect millions of non-entities like yourself with just a swipe of a pen. No, you don't ignore Mr. Presley.
Okay.
You know, the Mashai warrior will put a spear through your heart if, in a camera lens, you attempt to see him.
Oh, I read all about that in National Geographic.
Okay, good.
How the supposedly fearless Mashai warrior believed that if you take a picture of him, you'll steal their soul.
Yeah. Mr. Presley has no soul. He has no soul you can steal. He has a very powerful soul.
Okay. So if I can't see Mr. Elvis Presley,
Stanton.
huh?
Stanton Presley. Not Elvis.
Okay, so if I can't see him, can I at least hear him?
Yeah, of course you can hear him.
Good, because I was afraid I was going to have to perform my secretarial duties for an invisible man who can't speak up for himself. And dropping things don't count as speaking up for oneself.
Mrs. Mann, this is your phone log. Your Bible.
Oh, no, Mr. Prescott. This is my Bible.
At GSI, this is your Bible.
Well, I'm just saying, sir, that this is my Bible.
People, big people will be that pull the strings and make the puppets sing and dance will be calling this
Gas station.
office, and you will record the messages in this log. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm going to surround myself with my loved ones. This is my mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling Whitehurst. Aren't they a handsome couple? They're gone now, but I just...
You will record the messages in the log.
From the big people, I know. Oh, and this is my grandfather, Abel. He used to be the official ticket inspector from Matagorda County. Can you believe it? Oh, his wife, Violet, my grandmother.
Record the messages in this log. Sometimes.
And this is my great Aunt Fanny Lacey. Oh, she canned apples like nobody's business.
Sometimes Mr. Presley will not be in, even though he is in. Do you
Oh,
understand?
you mean lie?
He's in a meeting right now.
I can't lie.
International conference call.
My daddy taught me never to lie.
Well, Daddy's not with us anymore.
Yes, but I just think that.
So, you will record the messages when they call, and you will go. Now, what are you doing?
Oh, my lunch, Mr. Prescott. Well, with all the short notice, I barely had time to boil an egg.
Okay, as I told you, GSI.
Mr. Yamamoto!
Mr. Yamamoto, dial in Mr. Yamamoto. As I said, you will look up the name and dial the number saying dialing.
Darling Mr. Yamamoto!
Wait.
Well, if he's going to yell at me when I didn't do nothing, I'm going to yell back at him.
Yell at the CEO. Yes.
You just totally crushed my
Is he
head.
in? I have Elvis Presley. I have Mr. Stanton Presley on the line. Okay, we will try back again.
Ed White!
It's unnerving.
Dialing Ed White.
Him yelling all the time.
Dialing Ed White.
Like I'm not within spitting distance.
Yes. Yes, is he in? I have Mr. Stanton Presley on the line. Yes, well, hold. Never, ever pass the phone to Mr. Presley until you get the intended on the line. Only until you get the intended on the line do you pass over to... Yes. Yes, miss. Mr. Ed. I'm so sorry, I did not mean to call you a horse. Mr. Ed White, I have Elvis Presley on. Why? Why? Because he's...
His name is Stanton, right? Stanton Presley, not Elvis.
Mr. Ed White, here's Mr. Stanton Presley, so...
Ed? Eddie! How's Claire? Kiddos? Huh? Oh, don't worry. I'll deal with the Ivy Little Leaguer. Yes, myself, I promise. Well, right now, I think we should focus on... Huh? Oh, there's always talk in the journal, Ed. What specifically did you hear? Sources within my office. No, not a chance. Right now, I feel I should focus on the back nine at Augusta. Yeah, next week.
I didn't mean to get you in trouble, Mr. Prescott.
No one's permanent.
I doubt Mr. Presley will fire you.
No one is permanent. Not even chief executive officers.
Huh?
Now, I am going to call the Blessing Telephone Company and have them transfer our international calls through our New York office and speak with that wretched woman, Luetta,
Oh, you mean Miss Eddie?
and see if Luetta can do a basic telephone transfer so that voila, alakazam, Blessing will be on the map.
Oh, we're already on the map, Mr. Prescott. Right off the well-traveled farm road of 616.
The map of history, Mrs. Mann.
The map of history?
Yes, Luetta! Brad Prescott here. No, No, I will not, because I don't want to call you Miss Eddie. But I do want you to do a basic telephone transfer. No, I feel fine. I can assure you, this is my normal speaking voice. Oh, lemon and local honey. Okay. Great, got it. Yeah, got it. Hey. Now, please, initiate the phone transfer sequence. Yes, initiate means start. Start! Push the buttons! Thank you!
What did that all mean, Mr. Prescott?
Means I need to up my dosage.
No, all that about the exam and the map of history.
Oh, well, it means that any second now, millions of people will be calling, wanting 5 minutes of time with the current CEO of Global Standard Incorporated. And we will begin to frame the world's economy.
I'm gonna make the puppets dance and sing?
And make the puppets dance and sing. And finally, your little town of Blessing will be smeared onto the map of history and understudied onto the stage of mankind.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead. Take your place on the stage of mankind.
Howdy, Global Standard Inc. This is Allie. Miss Gardner? Miss Hattie Gardner, is that you? Oh, it is you. Oh, what? This is Alice Mann. That's right, Sterling Whitehurst's daughter. Oh, that's right again. Rice Queen, 5 years running. Must be talking about it like it was yesterday when it was so long ago. Huh? Oh, right now I'm working at the offices of Global Standard Inc. It's really the last place Texaco off Highway 81, but they got it all rigged up to make history. Oh. I better go, Miss Gardner. Like I said, I'm working. You must have dialed the wrong. No, Miss Gardner, this is not the first church. This is. Now, don't cry, Miss Gardner. I'm sure Elvis is all right. Elvis is her pastor. No, you cannot speak to the pastor, Miss Gardner. Like I said, this is. You're right, Miss Gardner. We should pray. Mrs. Smith, dear Lord, please return Elvis to us really soon. You're right, Miss Gardner. We should make the distinction. Dear Lord, please return Elvis to us really soon. And we don't mean that rock and roll singer because we don't believe in reincarnation or all those. What?
This is an international corporation with interests on...
I heard you the first time, all 6 continents.
This is not the first church of Mayberry with Uber and Miss Patty and Aunt Bee.
Yes, but...
If you get another wrong number, you hang up. And you do not
Yes, but...
pray. You do not pray.
Well, Miss Gardner was crying, and she's got no one really except maybe Elvis the cat.
Furthermore, when we greet the big people, you will say, hello, this is Alice, Global Standard Incorporated. How may I direct your call?
Isn't that what it said?
No! You said, hey, this is Alice speaking. How do you do? Like you were putting in an order at a Dairy Queen.
Okay. You don't need to be so theatrical about it. Hello, this is Alice Mann of Global Standard Inc. Right here. How may I direct your call? Yes.
What's he in?
What's he in?
What's he in? What's his business?
He's in manure. Well, he's fertilizing this time of year. Around here we call him Slim. You know, Slim Whitman. It seems that he wants to speak to the pastor.
Of the First Church of Green Acres?
Yeah, it seems his milking cow Susie just died and he's all choked up.
And he wants to speak with whom?
The pastor. Hey, do you think he wants to take it? I mean, do you think he wants to talk to Slim?
Do I think Mr. Presley wants to talk to Slim about his dead milking cow?
Well, that is why Slim is calling.
No. No, I don't think he does.
Well, why not? I mean, you could at least ask.
Because the acting CEO of Global Standard Incorporated does not have the time to discuss with a non-entity named Slim about his dead milking cow. But if Slim would like to speak with the pastor of the First Church of Hee Haw, the pastor suggests that he bring in Susie's dead corpse to the local McDonald's and cash in on its weight in Happy Meals.
You need to call Slim back right now and tell him that you do not speak for the real pastor of the First Church.
The real pastor?
And apologize for saying all those mean things about him being a non-entity.
Not a
And
chance!
turning his dead milking cow into a happy meal.
What seems to be the problem, Brad? What's the problem? The librarian!
As mad as hornets and stubborn as a mule kicking when she knows she's on the side of angels.
The side of what?
Your associate is lacking in the manners department. Oh, by the way, I'm Alice. Excuse me.
An explanation?
All right, guys. So I called Ma Bell of New York to transfer our
Howdy,
international
Global
calls
Standard, eh?
to Ma
This is
Kettle.
Alice speaking.
To Ma Kettle of Blessing. And apparently there's been a bit of a mix-up. So instead of our international calls, we're getting calls for a out-of-business church.
No, Pastor Childs is no longer the pastor at the First Church.
And my calls?
Lost?
I don't think it was the people of Blessing or the Lord that drove Pastor Childs out. He drove himself in a brand new Cadillac with the organist, not his wife, by his side. Yes, ma'am. She would like to know how long the new pastor will be in Blessing.
The librarian just encourages it all the more.
She has cancer and would like to discuss the eulogy. We'll have to get back to you, ma'am. Oh, it's Mary. And your phone number, hon? Okay, Walnut 4376. Yes. Goodbye.
You must be the librarian.
Oh, that's right. Hi, I'm Alice.
Whitehurst.
My maiden name. But how did you... Oh, you must have heard me talking on the phone earlier.
Stand impressed.
Hey, does this mean that I can see you now?
For the moment.
Good, because, well, now that I see you, well, in your eyes, I see...
Death?
Death!
The Messiah spear, sir?
And chemistry.
Oh, chemistry as in the chemistry between
As
two.
in the periodic table of elements. As in, the periodic table of elements in chemistry. Noble gases, to be specific.
Noble gases.
It's just the strangest thing to be looking into a stranger's eyes and seeing all 6 noble gases as you have a stain.
Stain?
Yeah, right over your heart.
Yes. Well, the moment is over, Mrs. Brown.
Oh, I can
Back to
help you
work.
get that out.
Brad is going to Blessing to fix this phone mess up.
You mean I have to meet with this Luetta person in person?
And then he's going to fly to New York in order to find my lost calls.
You don't want to stain like that to sit in.
I have to take the corporate jet then, sir.
The red eye out of Houston.
Sir, you know how much I hate the rank and file of the commercial airline people. Hey, Stanton 1 is only 10 minutes away.
The red eye out of Houston, Brad.
Yes, Sir.
And Brad, I want to know who's been talking to the Journal about this Pac-Man thing.
Put it in a memo.
Yes, Brad. A memo.
You know, his last secretary had to be hauled off on a stretcher. She, like you, I have to assume, will have the lifespan of a fruit fly.
Well, I think that's something for Mr. Presley to decide, since he is the current CEO of Global Standard Inc., not you.
Not now, but not never. Goodbye, Mrs. Mann.
Oh, here, let me help you with that.
This is a corporate office, Mrs. Mann, and you will not play church at my expense. If you get one more wrong number, you'll hang up the phone.
Yes, but I just think that it's
And
so...
if you test me on this matter, I believe you'll find Mr. Prescott to be a whiny little terrier and Stanton Presley a full-blooded, kicked-orphan junkyard dog. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, quite clear, Mr. Presley.
Good then. Bob Brown!
Huh?
Bob Brown!
Oh, no, that's right. Okay, dialing Bob Brown. Dialing Bob Brown. It's ringing.
It's supposed to be ringing.
Hey, do you think I should send Mary some flowers?
No! I think you should call her.
Okay. It doesn't cost a thing to be polite, you know.
Attention passengers. The red-eye from Houston to New York has been delayed 1 hour.
Don't answer.
But you're paying me to.
And I said, don't answer it.
It could be someone really important.
My calls are lost. So how could it be someone really important?
Someone really important to the Lord above, if you let me finish my sentence.
Let the Lord above get his own telephone line here below.
Yes.
Huh?
Nothing.
I'm in the house checking on lunch. And don't answer the phone. Let it ring.
But I'm just sitting here.
Let it ring.
Doing nothing.
I mean it.
Okay, okay.
I mean it, Mrs. Mann.
I'll just unplug it so we don't have to listen to the ringing of the poor soul.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Howdy, First Church Texaco. How may I direct your call? Slim Whitman, is that you? it is you. Now you just calm down, Thomas Slim Whitman. I was just fixing to call you, why? Because, the pastor wanted me to apologize for the rude remarks of his associate, Brad Prescott, and that you'll be in his prayers during your time of mourning. Oh, well, not those exact words, but I'm sure if he knew how upset you were. Huh? Oh, it's Alice. Alice Whitehurst. Oh, that's right, Sterling Whitehurst's daughter. Rise Queen 5 years running. That's right again, Slim. Oh, no, it's not Pastor Elvis Presley. It would just be Pastor Presley if he were. Not that. I'm saying nothing. I'm just saying that it's not. It's Pastor. Okay, well, I think I said enough, actually. Huh? All over town? Talking about the First Church of Texaco? Yes, I did say Texaco, Slim, but I was just... Everyone in lesson wanted to know when the first service is. Well, I don't know, Slim. No, I don't. I'll have to get back to you. Oh dear, what have I done?
Now, I am dictating a letter to you, and you will write in shorthand without a peep.
You know, it's funny how people talk.
Not a peep.
Always blowing things
Not
out of
a
proportion.
peep. Not a peep.
Okay.
You will address the letter.
Even when you were just trying to be a good servant of the Lord and not in any way trying to mislead folks. Oh, how the Lord works in mysterious ways. And he's always making lemonade out of life's lemon.
Mrs. Mann!
Whom shall I address the letter to?
Professor Yoday.
Professor Yoda?
Yoday! It's French, spelled Y-O-D-D-Y. You'll find his address.
Isn't he that wart-faced troll in that Star Wars movie?
He's the Dean of Philosophy at Berkeley University.
And the wart-faced Buddhist. Jimmy Swaggart told us all about the subliminal messages in those movies.
You'll find the address in the Rolodex.
Dear Professor Yoda.
As I travel this great country of ours, I am deeply troubled by this he who dies with the most toys wins generation of yuppies who, inspired by corporate pirates like Sir Wendell Kurtzman, also known as Pac-Man, would rather strip assets and create paper profits than engage in honest, hard work. It has come to my attention that this same luck and load mentality is being taught at your university under the course heading of Buddha Bears the Bull Market. Therefore, I am withdrawing my 1987 contribution to the university and will be unavailable as keynote speaker at this year's commencement exercises. Sincerely, Stanton Presley, Global Standard Inc.
Good for you, Mr. Presley.
Well, thank you, Ben.
Oh, and just between you and me, that force Professor Yoda's always talking about isn't from above, if you catch my drift.
Yes. Well, read it back if you would.
Yes, I would.
Well, go on.
As I travel this great country of ours, I am deeply troubled by...
Go on.
I
What do you mean can't?
I mean, if you could just repeat everything.
You don't know shorthand, do you?
Well, if you could just repeat everything after I am deeply troubled by...
No, I can't just repeat everything and I am deeply troubled by.
Well, why not?
Because it was spontaneous, off the cuff. I was inspired.
Oh, well, get inspired again. Only slower. Here, I'll start you off. As I travel this great country of ours, I am deeply troubled by...
Do you type?
Oh, the Billy Bob method.
Dare I ask what is
This is Billy and this is... well.
I suppose as Rice Queen 5 years running and head cheerleader of the Blessing Panthers, basic secretarial skills were beneath your station in life.
Well, I told Mr. Prescott that my secretarial skills were not all they could be.
Tell them they didn't exist.
I even told him about Billy and Bob. But he said Mr. Presley really needed me. Really needed me. Oh, as his secretary, of course. Not that Mr. Elvis Presley, Mr. Stanton Presley needed me in a personal. Wait, how did you know I was Rice Queen 5 years running?
Well, you told Miss Hattie Gardner, the woman with the cat.
But I didn't say nothing about me being head cheerleader of the Blessing Panthers.
Yes. Well, it stands to reason, does it not? The two go hand in hand. The Rice Queen, head cheerleader, frick, frack, salt, pepper, captain, Janelle.
I suppose. Hey, I bet as you travel this great country of ours, being deeply troubled and all, you do a whole lot of public speaking.
I've spoken at colleges and universities throughout the nation. Don't touch that.
Why? It's just junk.
It's not just anything.
Well, it would just scare me to death store having to talk in front of a whole bunch of folks.
I find it hard to believe you fear talking of any kind.
Yes, well.
Any time and anywhere.
Yes, well. I bet it's just like skipping rope for you speaking to the congregation. Oh, I mean the student body.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Huh?
How he's always making lemonade out of life's lemons.
What's wrong with this typewriter?
The way they're messing up the phone lines so we keep getting calls from the people of the First Church.
I thought you unplugged the telephone.
Well, it seems you can't unplug the Lord, Mr. President.
Don't even.
Howdy, First Church of Texaco.
First Church?
This is Allie speaking.
Hang up the phone, Mrs. Mann.
Oh, okay. It's Mrs. Jenkins. She would like to speak to Pastor Presley. Will you take the call?
Why would I? Who's Pastor Presley?
You silly! Will you take the call?
No, I won't take the call, and I strongly urge you to hang up and... Ha!
He's busy at the moment, Mrs. Jenkins. I'll call you back. What you doing? I was praying. Yes, that's right, Mrs. Jenkins. Mount Moving Prayer. Sunday service? I don't know. We'll have to get back to you. Find out. Let me see.
What's all this Pastor Elvis from First Church Texaco business?
Oh, well, I told Slim that it wasn't Pastor Elvis.
Good.
That it'd be just Pastor Presley if he were.
What?
No.
No, I don't know.
Hold still.
I will not hold still. I demand to know why Mrs. Jenkins would call.
Oh, dear.
What? Am I bleeding?
Yes, you're bleeding.
Oh, I knew it. I just knew it.
Barely.
Well, take care of it.
That is not how we ask someone to nurse our boo-boos.
Please.
I'm just saying it doesn't cost a thing.
To be polite. No.
Well, it doesn't.
Well, I said please. No, you just hurry.
Oh, I'm hurrying. You know, I should charge extra for all the nursing. There. Done.
Well, thank you.
You're right. Why do I keep looking in your eyes and seeing
The periodic table of elements.
noble gases? Yeah.
Back to work, Mrs. Mann, and no more calls to the First Church of Texaco.
All right, suit yourself, but it's your loss.
My loss? What's my loss?
Well, your stupid office policy for one
It's
thing.
efficient.
It's not normal human behavior. When we could be talking and getting to know each other.
Getting to know each other? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you talking about your life in New York City and me talking about my life here in Blessing.
Blessing, population 354.